All right, let's get right to the people. A lot of people. We got a lot going on locally. Todd is up next. 97.1. What's up, Todd?
Hey, Mike. Yeah, I want to get some answers out of the Lions on this last game here. I've never seen anything like that linebacker play where they're running between the tackles all game long and they can't even get a hand on the guy. I mean, why are they not making any adjustments? I've never seen something like that where there's such a blatant hole in the defense and they make no adjustment to it. Aaron Glenn's dug himself out of a hole 2 seasons in a row now, but I've never really seen him make any adjustments on anything like that.
Well, hold on.
You know, I'd like some answers on what – I understand the lack of talent. I do understand that.
All right, that's part of it. Todd, let's do that. Todd, let's do this. That is a big part of it, right? They are clearly not a finished product. But we can't say they haven't made adjustments when since week 7 or week 8 of the NFL season up until last week, they had turned over that time period into a top 10 defense. Look, sometimes you have a bad day at the office. Sometimes you zig and the other team zags. Sometimes you go in with a game plan and it's faulty. I'm not going to overreact. I'm disappointed. It borders on anger. But if they come out and they play well against the Pack and the Bears and beat them, and to your point, Todd, hold their water against the run, we'll know we're fine. But as I said to a caller earlier, if they come out and I see 2 more carbon copies of what I saw Saturday, well, that's a different thing, clearly.
No, I agree. I'm staying calm in that, but it's like, 2 times I've wanted him fired midseason, only to have him dig himself out with a good performance in the second half of the year. But then this game here, I mean, How could he not bring a safety up and give us a third linebacker or something? I mean, there was no adjustment. To me, that's just criminal negligence right there.
Well, Todd, here's the deal. All right. One game plan that didn't work out, or one lack in your mind of adjustments, you need to get comfortable that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are your coordinators. Now, it would take something outer-worldly the last 2 weeks to re-enter the conversation of Aaron Glenn's job security. I'm not ready to go there after one bad game in 2 months. Can't do it. But I'm not yelling at you. I'm just telling you, I'm not doing it. Let's go to Jeff, 97.1. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Hey, doing good. I think it's very important they win these last 2 games. I got a few reasons. I'll just run through them quick.
Sure.
One is because it'll be the 3rd time that they bounce back from a really tough loss. Miami, they bounced back 1-4. Buffalo, they bounced back 1-3. So if they bounce back from this and win 2 more, that'll show that 3 times they bounce back from tough losses. And here's the last part. And this one, because you beat Chicago, I believe you just go play well, you can beat them. But if Green Bay, who I think is going to beat the Vikings, this is what-if scenario, and I think they could be playing for as much as us. If we can go up to Lambeau Field, where that's been a nightmare, beat the guy that has repeatedly stabbed us in the heart, Aaron Rodgers, if we can go take that last win with something on the line, assuming they don't get knocked out of the playoffs next week and don't start him, even though that'll be an important win. But if they can do those 2 things, even if they don't make the playoffs, they will show that they've really, really taken a big step forward, and the playoffs will just kind of be a bonus if we just get a little help.
Listen, I totally agree. And I know a lot of people are listening, Jeff, and they're going to say, well, what does it really matter? They've already outdone their win total. It matters because, A, the idea that there's nothing to play for because you lost Saturday is just not true. Yes, they need some help, but there have been teams needing a lot more help with a lot harder pathways who have still made it. You win these 2 games, you give yourself, in my world, about a coin flip shot of getting in. I think it's massive. And you know what? Kenny brought it up earlier, and I agree with it totally. Jeff, if you get to 5-1 in the division, that's major progress. That's real. You don't have to sell hope, you sell results. And the players that come here in the offseason, both through the draft and through free agency and through trade, they're walking into a locker room that went 5-1 against the division they're going to try to win next year. It matters. And if you don't think it matters, well, it's your prerogative. It's a free country. But I'm just telling you, for too long in this town, too many people have let this team off the hook. And that's not to say, oh, well, they don't criticize them. No, it's that they play this stupid SOL card, which needs to be banned. Honestly.
That's just lazy to me, the SOL take.
I know.
It's just emotional hedging, and you don't want to get hurt. So you say, this is the same Lions as we've always seen. Right. I'm not going to allow them to hurt me again. It's laziness is what it is.
I'm with you. And that's where I don't even, honestly, I don't even want to hear it. Just, if you feel that way, don't watch. If that's what you're going to do, don't be a fan.
It's the same people who call in saying, oh, well, this team will never change as long as the Ford's on the team. It's like, all right, guy, then why are you a fan of the team?
Right. Meanwhile, if they win these last two, creep in, I'll pick them to beat the Vikings. You can outrun bad ownership. It's harder to do, but you can do it. And the Pistons probably are going to have to do the same thing. Mike is up next, 97.1. What's up, Mike?
Mike, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Hey, man, sitting out here having a cup of coffee, relaxing. Just, I wanted to agree with your previous caller. I think the Lions need to win out, and I got 3 reasons.
Okay.
Top of which is us, the fans. We're hungry for it. We've been dying for it. I've been waiting for this since God knows when. I've been a Lions fan since I was 3 years old. My very first game was the Chicago game, Thanksgiving. So could you imagine if we make the playoffs, what the town will look like? Oh, good Lord. Number 2, during the off season, we look that much more attractive to free agents. It's always been, oh, no, I don't want to go play in Detroit. There's no way I'm going to go play in Detroit. I'll retire before I go to Detroit. We went out, we go to the playoffs. Guess what? We're that much more attractive. And for the 3rd reason, God, I want them to wipe that smirk off of Aaron Rodgers' face because we're that team.
It is funny.
We're the team that's right at 500%.
It's funny. He
really?
wins a couple of games, and he's right back to being his unlikable self. I am with you there. I can't stand him.
I would just love to see them shove it down his throat in Lambeau, especially when he feels he's unbeatable now. Oh, well, we're going to go back
and again,
to the
at some point, look, whether you're a paying customer or just a regular fan, no matter what, at some point, somebody in this town has to break through and put a winning record on the board. And the Lions have an opportunity to do it. Pistons don't. Wings, it's going to be a long shot, but they're flirting, and the Tigers, forget about it. I mean, the Tigers are in a coffin for a few more years. Mike, let's put a winning record on the board. It's right there.
It is right there for their taking. I don't want to see them lay down. I'm tired of hearing SOL. That is garbage.
I'm with you.
We're not the same Lions.
No, and that's
guys
where
are hungry.
I hate when I hear it on this station. I can't stand it. I don't program the place. That's up to other people. Anytime I hear SOL, I feel like there ought to be like a lien put on their paycheck. Wage garnishment. It's ridiculous.
Certain people would be out of work if that were the case.
Well, listen, it happens. 248-539-9797. Let's go over to Wayne, 97.1. What's up, Wayno?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good.
I've been waiting on you to talk about the Pistons because you're one of the few guys that really understand and analyze talent, but you don't pay enough attention to us. So I'm stuck with the Caputos and these kind of guys that think everybody's good. But let me just say this about Troy Weaver need to fire Dwayne Casey because one thing, either Dwayne Casey can't coach or he can't bring in talent. And I think Troy Weaver is a whole lot more to blame than you guys think he is. Look at Kevin Knox, Magruder, Nerlens. Why are they on a rebuilding team taking minutes from our young players? We had Bol that we could have had the surgery, kept this guy. This guy's going to be a star. Killian Hayes, we're just trying to make something out of him. Every time he plays a good game after 3 or 4 bad ones, we're satisfied. There's so much talent around this league, it's unbelievable. Troy Weaver, you trying to say that Jalen Durham is just one hell of a player. He's no better than what Drummond was doing. Rebounding, you can't make free throws, and you got a low basketball IQ. What has Troy Weaver done?
Well, all right, couple of notes. All right, Wayne, I'll meet you in the middle on this. Now, I have said he's got this summer to show me that he's intent on building something. Otherwise, we're spinning our wheels. I have hated the off seasons the last 2 years where they haven't done anything meaningful. I talked about this past off season. I wanted to bring someone here, that it was time. And his answer for that was Marvin Bagley. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
Now, look, the roster itself, here's the better way to do it. I don't want to cherry pick, like you brought up Bol, which, again, I get it. It's easy to cherry pick. Let's just look at the roster for a second. You go, all right, we're 4 years into this deal. What building blocks do we really have? Guys that I say to you, in 5 years, they will be here. Killian Hayes? No.
No.
Bogdanovich? No. Let's be positive about Jalen Duren because he's on a rookie deal and he is a rim runner and a shot blocker and a rebounder. I'll say yes. Ivy, yes.
Outdated, but we'll go for that.
All right. Ivy, yes. Sadiq Bey. I can't even speak on how bad he's been this year. Isaiah Stewart? No. Diallo? No. Knox? No. Joseph? Burks? Bagley? Cade? Yes. But, no, I'm with you in this regard. I need to see more on the roster. And I don't know if you heard it, Wayne, but, look at what Cleveland did. Now, Cleveland went, all right, LeBron is out again. He's gone. And they go full rebuild phase. They go 20, 23, 29, and then, boom, they pop last year for 44. They've got keynote young players. They made a great acquisition in getting Jared Allen, Mobley, Darius Garland. They didn't overpay to keep Sexton. And then they went out and got Spider Mitchell. Wayne, it doesn't take a decade. So this is another lost year. That's going to be the fourth straight year of less than 23 wins. And if he doesn't have a big offseason in the summer, it's going to be 5.
It's about judging talent. He's been doing this since Jahlil Okafor. And all these rejects that some other team gave up on, Kevin Knox. How many teams want to cut him and we going to make something out? It's like going to somebody throw away garbage and we bring the furniture in.
He's got the right idea because hey, I got news for you, Wayne, and we're up against it. But if you didn't like retreads and projects, Bad Boys 2.0 never gets built. The Going to Work Pistons were made up of players like that. Rip Hamilton got thrown in the garbage by Michael Jordan. Chauncey Billups got passed around like communion bread. We can keep going. But you need to have some of those players because you got to hit on them. You got to find the reclamation project that redeems himself. 97.1.